to you guys about initial thought. So there are some times when something happens, right? We go through something or something just happens, something that's out of your control. And as I've said to you guys before, if someone does something to you, you're not responsible for what they do, right? You can't control them. What you can control is how you respond to it. You can't control what you're going to do after what they've done to you, or the situation has done to you, or the circumstance, or whatever that is. You have control over how that the outcome is going to be in that situation, right? And many times what ends up happening is this, and this is the part that's so critical. When something negative happens, when something bad, quote unquote bad happens, when something learning happens, our first thought is to think the way the instance took place, to think negatively, to think about how this happened or why it happened, and start questioning everything that you've done. And you take yourself away from getting the type of outcome that you truly want, even though you're not focused on the outcome in that moment. Your thoughts are so powerful that they will shape your life, right? Your thoughts are so powerful that they will give you the type of outcome that you desire. That's how powerful your thoughts are. So your initial thought, if thoughts are power, if thoughts are things, if our lives become what we focus on the most, your initial thought has to be something completely different than what the situation is. The situation may be a breakup. The situation may be a loss of job. The situation may be a car accident. Whatever the situation is that is negative, start to train yourself in this thought process. What good is going to come from this, right? Begin to understand this. When something happens, whatever it is, whatever that negative moment is or that learning moment, you have to begin to ask yourself this one question. What good is going to come from this? Before you get to a point of feeling sorry for yourself, or woe is me, or why did this happen, or why does this always happen, or God, I can't believe that this. What good is going to come from this? Right? Because if you can change this is the outcome. You're the author. Remember the video that I put up called Just a Page. Whatever you're going through is just a page in the chapter of your life book. Understand what I just said. A book is 100, 200, 300 pages, right? A single situation is just one page in the chapter of your book. So when something happens, you have to get to a space where the first thing you say is, what good is going to come from this, versus, damn it, why did this happen? I can't win. I can't get past this. I don't know how to. When you do that, you're going to get the type of outcome that the situation has presented to you, which is a negative one, right? That negative outcome is that negative situation, that negative instance is going to spawn a negative outcome. Start to condition yourself or recondition yourself or get yourself in a space, in a time, in a focus of understanding that I need to exhaust, I need to spit out, I need to breathe, I need to give life to, I need to birth. What good is going to happen from this? What good is going to come from this, right? We don't want to start thinking on the negative side. No matter what it is, you were built to get through it. You were built to overcome it. You were built to be greater than your situation, greater than your current circumstances, greater than the things that you're dealing with. You were built to be better. But you have to get your mind in a space where you understand something good is coming from this. It wasn't done to you, it was done for you. Right? You have to understand this. Whatever the situation was, it wasn't done to you. It was done for you. Right? For your strength. It was done for you to grow. It was done for you to recognize. It was done for you to be the greatest accomplishment that you believe that you can be. It was done for you, not to you. So what good is going to come from this? You have to get yourself in a space where you understand something greater is about to come. If you stay focused on what just happened, if you stay focused on the negative of what just happened, whatever it is, and when I say whatever it is, I mean whatever it is. If it's death, right? My father passed. I realized something great was going to come from that. And what came from it was all the lessons that he taught me. Somehow, magically, I remembered every single lesson, right? I remembered it all. I remembered all the moments that we would share. I remember all the things that he put into me, right? I saw all of those things come to me in an instant. There's always something good in everything. It's not done to you. It's done for you. And when you get yourself in a space when you get yourself to a point where that becomes automatic, your initial thought is, what good is going to come from this? No matter what happens, I just got laid off my job. What good is going to come from this? Right? Someone just stole my car. What good is going to come from this? Right? Someone stole my wallet. What good is going to come from this? Right? My girlfriend left me. My boyfriend left me. What good is going to come from this? You have to get yourself in a space where that is your question. What good is going to come from this? Right? That's the focus, the good. Every situation happens for you, not to you. Understand, it happens for you, not to you. Right? My learning moments happen for me to learn, not to me. It doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. What good is going to come from this? Train yourself in that space, in that thought process. Train yourself to always be aware that that is the question you need to be asking yourself in every situation that you're in. What good is going to come from this? Right? We get to that space and you will see magic happen for your outcome. Your outcome will produce magic. Right? It will produce the things that you desire. It will produce the things that you've wanted. What good is going to come from this? So I wanted to give you guys that message because it was on me. I hope you guys receive it. If you have a question, spit it out. I'm going to go through the thread like I always do, and I'm going to acknowledge everyone. And I'm going to, if you have a question, let me know what that is, and I am going to address that question. So, Jay, I saw you, Joe, Sunkiss, Cherokee, Italian, Darian, Urban Grill, appreciate you being on here. Her Crown Adjusted, Underwood. Italian Black says, how do you stop thinking about people that aren't good for you? There's a very, very, very simple way to do that. Who do you love more? Right? If you're thinking about someone who's not good for you, you're saying you value yourself a little bit less than the time and space and energy that you're giving to that person. Right? You guys know how I start my morning. I love me, right? I love me. Boy, I am in love with you, boy. I love me. I just love me, right? I love me. Y'all know that, right? Italian, do you love you? And if you do, put yourself before that individual. People are always going to take up space in our lives, right? Thinking about someone, putting your energy towards that person, putting your frequency towards that person will just continue to keep that person in your life, even if they're not physically in your life. So if you love you, why would you accept something that's toxic in your life? If they're not good for you, why accept them in your space? If they're not good for you, what value do they add to you? Right? Ask yourself the question behind the question. I was talking to a friend yesterday, about the questions behind the questions. Why do you keep that person in your life? Is there some redeeming quality? Are they really bad for you, or are they just unavailable for you? Like, what is it that keeps that person there? Identify those things and then ask yourself, if something is bad for me, would I eat it? Right? If something is bad for me, why would I want that in my environment? It's not that, you say, how do you stop thinking about people that aren't good for you? Make a decision to stop thinking about them. There's no rocket science to it. Just make a decision that you're willing to put yourself first. And that's really what it comes down to. I choose to not have something that's bad for me in my life, and I choose not to give it my frequency. I choose not to allow that person, that individual, or those people to take up my space. I choose to not do that. And then just remove yourself from that, right? If you love you, don't feed yourself something that's not good for you. And that's really what it comes down to. Just make the decision. That's as simple as it gets. Just make the decision. Judy, good to see you on. Good evening to you as well. Thank you, bro. Been working. so hard in getting closer to God. That's awesome, Darian. I love to see that. Off to Thailand. Take me with you. Take me with you. Off to Thailand. Hey, Gambler, good to see you. Gerard, good to have you on, man. Black Lux. See there, Miss Lady, Miss Church. If you have a question, shoot it out, and we'll make sure we address it. This is open conversation, so if you guys got comments about anything that I said, if you didn't agree with anything I said, let's talk about it. If you agree with it, if you have something you want to add to it, please definitely do it, because this is the time for us to be able to talk. Isabella, good to see you. I am JRW, good to see you on. Sean, good to have you. Bless you too, man. I appreciate you, Darian. Miss Lady says, how much is it? How much is what, dear? Elaborate for me. 50 Peaches, good to see you. Ray, good to see you on, man. Good to see you. We need to connect, man. I'll be in the Bay Area the beginning or end of July. I'll let you know for sure, but we need to connect. More Sophia, good to see you on, beautiful. How are you? Help Heal Together. Definitely, I like that. I like that screen name. Screen names say a whole lot about you. Urban Grill. Good to see you on. Lady Monica, thank you. I appreciate that. Zone Muscle Tone. Good to have you on, Urban Grill. I'm definitely going to share your page with my boys. Love the positivity, brother. Man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Definitely connect with your boys, man. I would love to talk with them. It's all about uplifting, man. 7401L Boulevard. Okay, I like that. That's unique. I'm always enamored by screen names, so it's really cool. Cherokee, I've been in one after another situation, and I'm trying to stay positive. So, Cherokee, we talk about this all the time. You said, I've been in one situation after another, and I'm trying to stay positive. First, as you know, I don't operate with trying. Trying gives you the permission to not succeed, right? And you guys, the more you understand this, let me break that down for you just really quickly. When I say trying gives you the permission to not succeed, what you're really saying to yourself when you say, I tried, you're giving yourself a way out of not succeeding because you said, I tried, right? Your best isn't trying. Your best is succeeding. Don't just be the best. Be your best. When you try and you don't succeed, you're saying it's okay. You're saying it's okay. And it's not okay to just try. What is okay is to succeed. So when you say, I tried, I'm trying, I will try, you're saying, if I don't reach it, it's okay because I tried. But you didn't put your best effort forward. You settled. You settled. Settling is when you accept less than what you're capable of achieving, right? If you want to achieve it, do it. Get it done. Make a decision that you're not going to stop until it's done, until it's accomplished, until you've reached the result that you want, not the goal. The goal may be to do whatever it is that you can do to try to succeed. The result is succeeding. So we don't want to stop short of the result. When you try, you just give yourself an excuse to not succeed. And that's not acceptable. It should not be acceptable for you, right? It shouldn't be acceptable. You have to push yourself to get to where you need to get to. I was telling a buddy of mine that most times we stop short of the finish line. And the reason we stop short is because we get to a space where we are testing our breaking point. Your breaking point is being tested. How many of you have ever gotten on a treadmill or an elliptical and you start going that 5 minutes and you're pushing in that 10-minute mark, but that 15-minute mark, you're like, oh my God, am I really going to do this? That's your breaking point. That's your breaking point. If you just push past it, you'll find that hour was nothing on that treadmill, right? Or that elliptical or that bike. It was nothing. It was nothing. Most people get to the breaking point and they don't want to push past it, but everything you want exists on the other side of your breaking point. So when you say, I try, and you don't succeed, all you did was got to the finish line and refused to cross it. because you didn't want to push past your breaking point. If something that is that you want, you got to show up and get it, right? Stop trying, Cherokee. Stop trying. Do. You have to do. Situation after situation. You're doing this. And at some point, you're going to make a different decision and you're going to do this. And that's what life is about. It's about elevating. So if you find yourself in situation after situation, you're not making the right decision in the previous situation. So it's presenting itself to you again for you to make a different decision. And when it presents itself, make that decision so you can elevate to the next level. Stop trying and do. You have to do. Off to Thailand. Wow, this couldn't have been better timing. Even though I've been positive mind follower, I'm in such a stressful harassment situation, and I hope that's stressful, not sexual, stressful harassment situation, and been trying to figure out how to get my headspace right. Interesting. So you've been trying to figure out how to get your headspace right. So getting your headspace right requires a couple of things. And I actually put this, if you guys haven't been on my page, in my highlights, there's a daily disrupt. I do a daily disrupt every day. And I put it up and just go and check it out. But the daily disrupt that I put up yesterday had to do with self-discipline, right? Many people think that self-discipline is a punishment, and it's not, right? It's the greatest reward that you will ever give to yourself, away from self-love and self-respect, right? It's the greatest reward you'll ever give to yourself. So you want to get your headspace right. You have to train yourself, right? Believe it or not, being a positive person, you have to recondition your conditioning. As crazy as that sounds, you have to recondition your conditioning so that you can put yourself in the light that you want to live in, right? And so getting your headspace right, you have to recondition yourself. You have to put yourself in a space where everything that matters to you starts to matter, right? You're in a situation where, like, the stressful harassment part, and I don't mean any to diminish what you're dealing with. I'm giving you where I come from. I don't deal with stress. I have no stress in my life, right? I am the author of the story. I can change the story. I rewrite the story. I can tell myself what the story is, right? The other reason that I don't have stress in my life is because I live by a creed for me. The amount of stress that I allow in my life is on a tablespoon, right? You know what a tablespoon is. Get a tablespoon out and look at that tablespoon, because that's the amount of nonsense that I allow in my life. My family calls me with it. My friends call me with it. My children, my wife, whoever it is. I don't care. You got a tablespoon. Because as I always say to you guys, it's impossible to inhale and exhale at the same time. So if I'm inhaling all of your nonsense, I can't exhale my own, right? My capacity is a tablespoon. So most people can tolerate a lot of stress in their lives because you allow yourself to tolerate that much stress. But if you just lowered your tolerance level to stress, there wouldn't be any, right? Reduce your capacity to the stress that you're dealing with off to Thailand, and you'll see a completely different outcome. Urban Grill, wow. The lady Monica says the timing of this speech is so prophetic for me. That's a good thing. I'm glad this helps you with whatever you're dealing with. Distinct Diamond, good to see you. Maria, good to see you. Hey, how you doing? Lisa Lee, good to see you on. Savoy, I'm pronouncing that right, but say HO2X, I'm with you. Denise, good to see you. Justin, always good to see you. Malin, Las Vegas, thank you. Okay. Urban Grill, what if my parents represent toxicity? Wow. Okay. All right. So that's a good one. So what if my parents represent toxicity? So here you go. As I've said to you guys before, my father was an amazing man, right? Amazing man. Unbelievable. My best friend. But he was also a functioning alcoholic. Just what it is. I'm not ashamed of it because he was an amazing man. My father was in the military for 23 years. When he got out of the military, he lived his life as a sailor. That's just who he was, right? I don't fault him because, again, He's an amazing man. He was an amazing man. My mother, as amazing as she is, my mother was a drug addict, right? And as amazing as she is, she's been clean for almost 20 years, which is an amazing feat in itself, right? Because it's a struggle. That's a disease, right? For me, that was toxic. That was a toxic situation that I was in, right? But I saw something different. See, here's the thing you have to understand, Urban World. Every single person has the ability, right, to break the cycle, right? Their toxicity doesn't have to exist with you. You can change your environment. And if you're not financially able to change your environment, or you depend on them, you have to ask yourself, what is most important? Is it having a peace of mind, or is it living in toxicity? You have the ability to change your circumstances. You have the ability to break the cycle. You have the ability to change the story. You have the ability because it's your life. You don't have to surround yourself with that. So if your parents are toxic, does that make you toxic? It will if you remain in that environment. I love my family from arm's length sometimes because a peace of mind is underrated, right? I'm going to have a peace of mind. My level is a tablespoon. My capacity is a tablespoon. Find out what you're willing to deal with. Find out what you're willing to release. Sometimes you have to love people at arm's length. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean that you don't care for them or you won't be there for them. You just love you more. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you being selfish, to be selfless, right? There's nothing wrong with it. Get yourself together and then you can help those other people that you need to help. But there's nothing wrong with loving people at arm's length, especially if they're toxic, right? You don't have to be that person. So I hope that answers your question. Sunkiss says, so in essence, it's about controlling the direction of your thoughts completely. It is completely about controlling the direction of your thoughts. So here's something to think about, right? When you birth something, you give life to it, right? Whether that be child, whether it be a new relationship, whether it be a new job. A new job is birthing some new success. It's new, right? When you think about something, you are birthing it. You are giving it life. Why would you focus on the negative? If something happens that's negative, why would you counteract that with more negativity? What would happen if you counteracted it with positivity? What good is going to come from this? Because what it does is it puts you in a different space. So here's what I want you to do. Because when I do it, it makes me emotional. And I'm going to do this with you guys. So here's what we're going to do right now. I want you to think about something that you're going through, right? Whatever it is that you're going through, I want you to think about it. Take a couple seconds to think about it. Think deep. And I really want you guys to do this. Think about something that you're going through right now. I'm going to give you a couple seconds. Think about what you're going through. There's something that you're dealing with. There's something that's weighing you down. There's something that has you emotional. There's something that just tears at your roots. There's something that is driving you bananas, right? Think about what that is for a second. Think about it. Process it. If you have it, think about it. Just think about it. This is what you're dealing with. Couple seconds, couple more seconds. Because watch this. This is powerful. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to ask yourself, what good is going to come from this? Say it out loud. Say it 4, 5, 6 times. Say it with passion. What good is going to come from this? What good is going to come from this? Just say it. What good is going to come from it? Hear yourself saying it and watch the frequency switch. It's no longer negative. That's what it does to your body. The initial thought that you have when something negative happens and you say, what good is going to come from this? It washes away what just happened. And it puts you on a thought process in a plane, and you just birth positivity so you can get to the end result that you want. What good is going to come from this? Right? Do you feel that power? If you feel the power, just type in amen. Just type in amen if you feel that. If you can actually feel that. Like, what good is going to come from this? Just type in amen, because that's what it's about. It's about the feeling, the frequency, the vibration that you're giving off will change the situation. You put yourself in a space to receive the goodness when something happens. If your initial thought is, what good is going to come from this? You're not thinking about it on a negative plane. You've just washed away the negativity and you've replaced it with positivity because you're the author. You're the person who controls the story, right? So that's exactly what it is. And so in essence, it's about controlling the direction of your thoughts. That's exactly what it is. Proud Aunt, good to see you on. Italian Black Chick, you're so welcome. Riddick, good to see you. No days off. If you guys have a question, spit it out. I'm going to get to the end of this shortly. Forever Sweet, good to see you on. Lady Monica, when are you coming to Texas? I'm not sure. I have no idea when Texas is coming up, but I will definitely keep you posted. Denise says, needed so much to hear that. You're so welcome. I'm going to get this one wrong, but I'm going to give it a stab. Rushan, I got that, right? So good to see you, Rushan. Anthony Livingston, yo, my man, good to see you on, bro. So this guy and I, Anthony and I have been friends, 20 years now, man. It's 20 years. Wow, dude. Wow, 20 years we've been friends. Watched his daughter grow up. I think she was 3 when we met. And she's college, graduating. So it's been good to have this brother in my life. There's only so many people that I've been friends with that for that long. And I'm proud to be able to say that. I appreciate you, Ant. We need to connect soon. Rashawn, what good point? Finish line. The finish line is amazing. So most times we get to a point where, and there's a video on my page called Why People Fail. And most people fail because of comfort, right? That's just the bottom line. Most people fail because of comfort. And so the finish line is something that's uncomfortable because you don't cross it. We get to the finish line, but we refuse to cross it because that breaking point that you have to bust through is the one thing that keeps you away from the finish line. But it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to push past the finish line because when you start to push past the finish line, it takes a little more effort. And that effort looks like work, and work looks like an obligation. And that obligation, you miss the opportunity. Right. And so you have to get to a point where you don't see obligation, you don't see work, you don't see effort, you just see opportunity to be better. And that will get you across the finish line. And once you taste the finish line, trust me, it's not something you will ever not want to taste in your life. You will always go for the finish line. So it's very important that you strive to push past your breaking point. Najee, good to see you on. Single Mom, good to see you. Urban Girl, blessed brother. You as well, my friend. Mulan, Sultan, good to see you. You're so welcome off to Thailand. Topic for tonight is initial thought. Mulan, Hannah, good to see you. Kiva, good to see you on. Ride out to take every nickel. I like that. That's determined. GP, good to see you. If you have a question, shoot it out. I am always thankful for you. I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you so much. Sunkiss, oh my God, toxic parent hit home for me. As bad as it killed my conscience, I had to distance myself from my own sanity, and I've never felt so mentally free. Some days it bothers me. I decided to love me more. Definitely. You sometimes have to love people from arm's length, right? And it doesn't matter who it is. When you get to a point where you understand that you're only going to get one life, when you really take that in, I mean, we say it, I got one life to live, and I sit down for a moment and really process the fact that you're only going to get one life. That's it, right? Knowing that, being conscious of that, why would you not live it to the fullest? Why would you not attempt to accomplish everything that you possibly could in the one life that you're going to live? And when those people come into that one life that you're going to live and they try to derail the things that you are passionate about, that you desire, that are strong within you, you have to push them away. If you're not with me, you're against me, right? Now, when I say that, tell me when I'm wrong. Tell me when I'm not being of character. Tell me when my judgment isn't sound. I respect and I appreciate that. But if you're trying to derail me from a vision that I have for myself that's positive, then you're against me. And I have to love you at arm's length. If your life is about toxicity, it's about negativity, I have to love you at arm's length because you become like the 5 people you hang around the most, right? Your environment produces your outcomes in most situations, but you have the power to change your environment, right? You're the author. Don't ever forget that. Single mom, good question and great answer. But like you said, what if you're financially dependent on that toxic person? A peace of mind is great, but not if you won't have a roof over your head. That's a very good point. So what I say to someone in that situation is, if you know that you're dependent upon someone, do everything you can to not be dependent upon that person. There's always a solution. You just have to find it, right? And don't take what I'm about to say the wrong way, right? Being dependent upon someone is because you become comfortable with that person taking care of what needs to be taken care of. It's just the way that your life has become, right? But again, you have the ability to change it. You're the author. You are the person who makes the decision to change their lives because it's your life. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. It will be the most uncomfortable challenge that you have ever faced in your life, but you were built for it. You were made for it. You were built to succeed. There's nothing you can't do. You just haven't learned yet. You have to learn how to depend on you. As tough as it's going to be, as hard as it's going to be, you have to learn to depend on you, right? Being dependent upon someone is because you have allowed yourself, not you, the plural you, to become comfortable. That's all it is. Circumstances don't dictate the level of comfort or the level of uncomfortableness that we have. It doesn't. Our thought process and our decision making allows those things to happen. So when you say, what if you're dependent upon someone? That's a simple one. Don't be dependent upon that person. Do whatever you need to do to get yourself in a position, into a space, if it matters to you. Because when what matters to you really matters, nothing else will matter, right? You will find a way. My mother had 6 kids, single woman in the house. She had hope, but she had 6 kids, and she still managed somehow. Every doggone morning when I woke up to go to elementary school, dinner was cooked. I don't know how she did it. I don't know. But dinner was cooked with 6 kids. I don't know how she did it. Laundry was always done. The house was always spotless. My mother was a beast. She was a beast. I don't know how she did it. But she found a way because that's what mattered to her. When what matters to you really matters, nothing else will matter. We choose to be dependent because you have all the capabilities within you to accomplish anything you want. Anything. Right? And I've talked to you personally, so I know how powerful you are. I know how powerful you are. I know the ambition that you have. I know the dreams that you have. I know the desires that you have. And I know what you're capable of achieving. Because you and I have had that conversation, right? It's a decision at this point, right? So tough love, but know it's said in love. Urban Growth Sunkiss, Single Mom Mind. Leaky, how you doing, love? Good to see you. To Angie, Marquis, peace, brother. You're so welcome, man. Be good. I love it. That's how powerful that is. That's how powerful that is. What good is going to come from it? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The vibe right there. I'm just now getting to you, to everybody saying amen. That feeling right there is what happens when something negative happens and your initial thought is, what good is going to come from this, right? That's what happens. Tips on keeping your mind on health and losing weight. Yes, so 2K Angie says, what are some tips to keep your mind on health and losing weight? I just said it. It's self-discipline, right? Focus on what you want. See yourself in the light that you want to see yourself in. Envision yourself in the weight with the weight that you want. Envision yourself with the type of health that you want. And then it's a matter of it being self-discipline, you being self-disciplined, right? Don't eat that nonsense. Get up and work out. One of the daily disrupts that I put up, it said your first taste of success is when your alarm clock goes off, right? It's either your first taste of success or your first taste of failure. right? When your alarm clock goes off, it's either going to be success or it's going to be failure. And you make the decision on what that's going to be. Because if you get up, you've succeeded for the first time in your day. That is your first layer of success. But if you hit that snooze button, you just failed. It's that simple. Get up. Be self-disciplined. And you can have anything that you want. See, self-discipline will allow you to learn. Self-discipline will allow you to eat right. Self-discipline will put you in the gym. Self-discipline will educate this. It will make you read. Self-discipline is not a punishment. It is a privilege. It is a reward. So if you want to understand how to keep your mind on health and losing weight, whatever you birth, right, will exist in your life. That's what your focus should be. And then you should be focused on how you implement your self-discipline. Self-discipline is about love. It's about self-love, right? How much do you love yourself? And when you begin to love yourself more, you will become more self-disciplined because you matter. If you don't matter, you won't be self-disciplined. If the things that you want don't matter, you won't be self-disciplined. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. Discipline yourself to make better decisions. It's as simple as it gets. Off to Thailand, change the story. When you are thinking about something, you're birthing it. I love your wisdom. Thank you again. You're so welcome. Yeah, whenever you, this is powerful. This can also be dangerous, right? It's very powerful, but it can also be dangerous. So don't birth thought process. Don't birth anything that you don't want to exist in your life, right? When you begin to birth it, it's going to exist. Right? You can bring all these things to you. So don't birth anything that you don't want to exist in your life. Leslie, good to see you. Any tips on releasing a toxic narcissistic ex that you have a child with that you have to deal with? So, you know what? Yeah, I do. Be the grown-up. Be the adult, right? You have no choice but to co-parent. You're not responsible for him. You're responsible for you and how you deal with him. It doesn't matter what he says. It's not about you. It doesn't matter what you say. It's not about you, right? It's not about him. It's not about you. It's about the child. So who's going to stand up and be the adult? And if you are being the adult, it doesn't matter what he's doing, right? If he doesn't show up for his pickup times or if he's not with the kids, you don't control all of those things. But what you do control is how you respond to what he does. That's going to give you the outcome that you need. E plus R equals O. Event, him not showing up, plus response, why the hell didn't you come? Equals a negative outcome. E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. You can't control him. You can only control you. And if you're really putting your child first, if you're really truly putting your child first, it doesn't matter what he does. You're going to be the adult. You may have to swallow the pill, that the childish pill, so you can be the adult. Put your child first. It's not about you and it's not about him. It's not. If he's narcissistic, that's who he is. You be your best you every day. And if he has a problem with you being your best you, that's a him problem, not a you problem. But you show up to be an adult. I apologize. This is a tough situation for me. But you show up to be an adult. It's about your child. It's not about him and it's not about you. Co-parent. Make it happen. Make it happen. That's my answer. Make it happen. How you deal with it, you don't deal with it because it's not happening to you. It's happening for you. You chose to have a child with him. Now choose to co-parent. Tough love. And I love you. I love you. I love me and I'm loving you back. But I'm telling you, for your child's sake, for your child's sake, you be the adult. You be your best you every single time you have to interact with him. Whoever he's going to be, you can't control. The moment you stop trying to control him, you will see things change. Ask yourself, Kiva, ask yourself, what good is going to come from it? What good is going to come from it? Just say it right now. What good is going to come from it? What good is going to come from this co-parenting? Ask yourself that. Because see, the good that I see coming from it is your child sees that his mother and his father or her mother and her father can get along. That they don't argue over me. That they don't make me feel bad for loving one or the other. Right? What good is going to come from it? That's what you need to ask yourself. What good is going to come from it? Ride out to take every nickel. It is big cousin this year. Your cousin Sean's son. Takar, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Glad you joined. Just Jala, thank you for being on. Ride Out, thank you. Appreciate it. Marion, hey, good to see you, man. Selva, good to see you. Mike, good to see you, man. Tonish, good to see you. Dijon, good to see you, man. Harley, Yvonne, my sister, hey, love you. Consistency is a must, definitely. I'm thinking what you're talking about in terms of the weight and the health. You have to be consistent, definitely. Lowe's 5077, good to see you. Single mom, right, you're exactly right. To go from taking care of myself and being dependent on myself to now being dependent on that toxic person, which happens to be my mom, is tough. Thank you for this. No problem. Like you have to get to a point where you matter, right? And you have a beautiful daughter. You matter. Your children matter. So you have to matter. It can't be something less than that. When what matters to you really matters, nothing else will matter, right? For the moment, do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do, right? You may have to be with your mother right now, but that's not where your destination is. Your destination isn't where you are, right? Your destination is where you want to be because you control that. So just keep in mind that you don't have to stay in the situation that you're in. I matter. Forever sweet. Yes, you do. You do matter. Tonish, yes, sir. Smile. Appreciate that. Amen, brother. Thank you. Remember, what good is going to come from this? Forever sweet. If you have a question, spit it out. Forever sweet. How do I make my 29-year-old son grow up and be responsible? So there's a couple of things you said in here. So let's start with the first part of it. How do I make, right? First of all, you can't make anybody do anything, right? I know you brought him in this world and you can take him out. If you took him out of the world, he still won't be doing it, right? So you can't make anyone do anything. It's his life, right? He's going to do the things that he wants to do with the one life that he lives, just like you do the one thing that you want to do with your life. You choose to coddle him. You choose to enable him. You choose to be a crutch for him. Right? It's not about making him do anything. It's about making yourself stop. It has nothing to do with him. It has everything to do with you. How do I make my 29-year-old son grow up? You can't. You just can't. Right? But what you can do is you can stop enabling. Right? You can stop being a crutch. What you have to do is wash your hands with it and force him to do whatever he's going to do on his own, not in your home, not in your space. Don't give, don't provide. If he needs it, he'll find a way. He's 29, right? You've done your job. Your job was done 9 years ago, 11 years ago. Your job was done. It's on him at this particular point. So don't be in a space where you even feel guilty, right? When you start loving you, you'll release that. Right? Love you a little bit more. I know you have to love you, right? But as I told you guys before, there's nothing wrong with you being selfish and then be selfless. If your cup is empty, you're not giving genuine love. You're giving resentment. You're not giving that pure love to people. Your cup is bare. Your cup is empty. You're emotionally bankrupt. How can you give love? So fill your cup first. Be selfish and then be selfless. So you can't make him do anything. Right? It's just going to be something that you're either going to have to stop doing or he's going to figure out. But you can't make him do anything. Awesome message. Love my Chris. Maisha, get to see you. Kiva, thank you as well. Sent the request to be in your live video. All right. Make it happen. Let me see here. I think I lost something because Maisha came in and ruined everything. So, what is this? Where are we? Okay, so make it happen. Just Jayla, love yourself enough to have self-discipline. Thank you. I'm definitely working on loving myself so much so that I want the best for myself and don't sabotage myself because of inner doubts. Yes, definitely. So really quickly, like you guys know, I tell you every morning, I love me. Let's let this fly. I love me. Just type it in. I love me. And when you do this, Before you go to bed at night, when you wake up in the morning, just love you. Fill your cup. Just let it fly. I love me. Hug yourself. If you're in a position to hug yourself, just embrace yourself and feel what that feels like, because it's so amazing, right? It's so amazing. Just, I love me. I love me, right? Just, I love me. Tell yourself you love you sometimes, right? I love me. Yes, God, you got this, Kiva, for sure, all the time. So, that's so right. I am a single mom, raised two great persons on my own. The father of my children was not present, but that was his choice. I never talked about him with my children. You can't, because you don't control him. If you try to control other people, all you're going to do is just be in a situation where you're going to be the one frustrated. You're going to be the one upset, because you have silent expectations that that person doesn't even know about. Imagine that. You have expectations that are silent, that you've never even shared, but you're upset with them for not meeting your expectations. Just think about that for a second, right? So you have to get to a point where you recognize who you have control over, and that's just yourself. Good co-parenting matters. My daughter deserved it from us both. Yes, definitely. You have to be at a space where you understand, like, co-parenting is everything, right? And unfortunately, it's common, but it's what needs to happen. You have to co-parent. Off to Thailand. Oh my gosh. Sorry, me again. Will there be a way to share this? So many parent pearls of wisdom. It'll be up for 24 hours and then it'll be off. I will do my best to record it somehow so I can put that up there for you guys. Yes, but the wait. I got you, Ivan. Silva Perio is how you handle the situation and your attitude. Definitely. It's how you handle the situation and your attitude. Lucy, thank you for joining. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. What if you struggle with being selfish? If you struggle with being selfish, so Sunkissed DC says, what if you struggle with being selfish? At some point in your life, you're going to wake up and you're going to realize that everything you've had inside of you has been given away, right? You don't have a problem with being selfish. You feel guilty for being selfish, because we're all selfish, right? Our human nature is to be selfish in the sense that we all want things to be our way, right? We all want things to be our way, right? That's a selfish trait. It may not be a conscious selfish trait, but we all want things to be our way. So when you get to a point where you understand it's okay to be selfish, you won't have that guilt, right? Most people are not selfish because they feel guilty for being selfish. I don't feel guilty for being selfish. I love me. And the only way that I can love you is if I have my cup full. If I have self-love within me, I can give away some of that love to you. But if I'm empty, I can't give you anything. So because of that, I don't feel guilty about giving love to myself. I don't feel guilty about it. I'm first. I'm going to love me first. And the people that are around me, who are in my circle, who are in my network, they're going to receive some genuine love, right? So your struggle isn't with being selfish. It's feeling guilty for being selfish. So identify that. Always ask the question behind the question so you can get to the granular level of the issue, right? Shay, good to see you. Vaughn says, you're doing an amazing job, brother. I'm so excited about the man you've become. I love me and I love you. I love you too, sis. I'm glad I caught you live tonight. I'm glad you caught as well. Hannah, you missed the last couple ones. C-No, good to see you on. I do love me indeed. My own muse, thank you for joining us. I love me. Great words, thank you. I learned not too long ago that it's okay to be selfish. I'm reclaiming my time, as Auntie Maxine has said. I love me. Definitely. All right, I got to the end of the thread. If you guys have anything that you want to say, I'll leave it open for another couple seconds. You know, my seconds go quick, so about 10, 15 seconds, I'll leave this on. But look, tonight's affirmation is very simple, right? Tonight's affirmation is, I love me. I love me. That's tonight's affirmation. So just remember, whenever you go through something, whenever something's happening, whenever you seem like you're in a dire situation, change the story, change the direction of the outcome by saying, what good is going to come from this, right? What good is going to come from this? That's what you have to ask yourself. Immediately, your initial thought has to be, what good is going to come from this? And when you do that, you will feel something come over you that puts you at ease, and it helps you understand that I can do this. I was built for this. I got this, right? You were built in the image of success. You were built in an image to succeed. You were built in an image that is unbreakable, that's unshakable, that lets you know that you can do everything that you want to. Anything you want to, it's already done for you, right? What good is going to come from this? Remember, when things happen, it doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. So you guys have an amazing evening. I love me. I love me, right? What good is going to come from this? That's what you have to ask yourselves. We're going to do this again in a couple of days. I love you guys. If there's no other questions, we're going to log out of here. I am changing it. Yes, I love that. I appreciate you guys joining. I will definitely, next time, I will put up a notification that lets everybody know that I'm on here, and we'll get it done. Walk on water, faith. Indeed. I appreciate you as well, Sunkiss. I will talk to you all soon. Have an amazing evening.